The moon card is associated with mysticism, the occult, and the oceanic expanse of the unconscious mind. Despite its name, it is actually ruled by Neptune and is the card of Pisces. While all tarot cards relate to the mind and the unconscious in some way, the moon card in particular can be linked to the practice of active imagination and the interface with the unconscious that it facilitates. Carl Jung himself, under the Taroscopic system, would be considered a Pisces-rising. The moon represents the exploration of the unconscious and the pull between surface reality and the deeper murky layers of the unconscious. In this active imagination exercise, we will explore the energies of the moon card and our relationship to the mystical and the occult, whilst also becoming aware of possible tendencies for escapism and fantasy. So just making sure you're comfortable, either seated with a straight back or lying down. Close your eyes. Just taking some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just allowing the mind and body to relax naturally. We're going to start this exercise just with some basic meditation. Let's just make the imagination more accessible by letting go of any unrelated thoughts or inclinations. So for now, just keep your attention on the sensation of the breath. And just hold your attention there. And as you do this, you might notice, very likely, that thoughts keep popping up. There's nothing wrong with these thoughts. We're not trying to stop thinking. These thoughts happen because they need to happen. But as these thoughts run their course, the mind naturally quietens down. And this can teach us a lot about the nature of the mind and reality. So it's not better or worse to have more thoughts or less thoughts. So you can safely let them go without any aversion to them. We are essentially just allowing what needs to happen to happen. So each time the mind wanders, we make that conscious, no longer getting caught up in it. That thought runs its course. And bring the attention back to the exercise. And now we're going to bring the attention to the imagination. So begin by imagining yourself in a serene and moonlit environment. Take some time to observe this imaginary space, as well as being aware of how you feel in this space. Now, in the distance, you notice a figure who is performing a kind of ritual or ceremony. Observe them at a distance at first. Take note of your initial reactions, emotions, thoughts. What is it they're doing? And now gradually approach the scene. Again, noticing how your feelings and perceptions change. Observe the figure more closely. Noting their clothing, their demeanor, and their behavior. And now you can choose to engage in this ritual. Or you can simply observe. Just engage with the situation now in whatever way feels right to you. Notice if the figure has any message for you, or perhaps they stay silent or communicate only through their actions. As the ritual or ceremony draws to a close, you engage this figure in a dialogue, beginning by asking them a series of questions. I'm going to read the questions one at a time. Simply state each question to the figure and listen out for their response. Ask the figure, what does this ritual represent to me and why? How do the feelings towards the ritual or ceremony reflect my attitudes towards the mystical, or any tendencies towards escapism and fantasy? Where in my life might I be refusing to see truth, choosing comfort in illusion instead? How can I integrate the lessons learned from this exercise into my conscious understanding and actions? Having asked these questions, you're now going to engage in a free-form dialogue with this figure. This is your chance to ask any other questions or discuss any concerns you might have. There are no limits on this interaction. Just be sure to bring the same ethical standard and wholesome intention to this interaction that you would in daily life. So take the next minute or so to engage with this figure and resolve whatever needs to be resolved. So, as this conversation draws to a close, thank the figure for their wisdom. And remember, you can come back here and re-engage with this figure anytime you need to. It's just allowing the scene to fade now. And bringing your attention back to the physical space around you. Noticing any sounds or sensations. And in your own time, opening your eyes again.